Welcome to the Center for Online Learning and Teaching Technologies micro-lecture on learning objectives. What are learning objectives? An objective is a description of a performance you want learners to be able to exhibit before you consider them competent. It also describes an intended result of instruction rather than the process of instruction itself. And thirdly, a learning objective is an outcome statement that captures specifically what knowledge, skills, attitudes learners should be able to exhibit following instruction. Quality Matter rubric discusses learning objectives in General Standard 2. All specific review standards in General Standard 2 are 3-point standards and essential to a course. Let's do a quick review of each. Course learning objectives must be measurable, and the module or unit objectives must be consistent with the course level objectives and describe learner mastery. They must also be written from the learner's perspective, clearly relate to the course activities, and be suited for the level of the course. Keeping the level of course and work being produced, use the domain action verbs to help guide objectives and assessments. We start at remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and eventually creating based on the level of the course. Remember refers to the ability of the student being able to recall or recognize information. Understand is defined as the ability to grasp the meaning of material and putting it in their own words. Application refers to the ability to use learned material in new and concrete situations. Analysis refers to the ability to break down material into its component parts so that its organizational structure may be understood. Evaluation is concerned with the ability to judge the value of material for a given purpose. And last but not least, creating is concerned with producing new or original work. Course goals and module level objectives. Our course goals, or outcomes sometimes referred to, are measurable and broad. They explain to the students what they will learn upon completion of the course, does not provide enough specificity for assessment and evaluation. Our module learning objectives are, they help identify the subtasks of the course objectives. They are measurable. They describe specific features that allow the instructor to choose proper assessments, content, and activities. And they precisely describe what you want your students to be able to do. You can also use the SMART formula. This objective is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Specific answers the question as what is to be done, how will you know it is done, and describes the result or end product of their work. Measurable answers the question how will you know it meets expectation, and defines the objective using accessible terms. Attainable, this will not be included in the written objective, but the question as to whether the person has the knowledge, skills, abilities, etc. to achieve the objective is important to consider. If not, what can we do to get our students to that level? This portion is considered as it will guide instruction to ensure students can attain this objective. Relevant answers the question, should it be done? If so, why? And what will be the impact? Time-bound. Are they able to complete the task with the time allotted? Another formula we have is a general formula. It will be students plus skill, the plus the concept of the topic. At the knowledge level, we have students will list the consequences of globalization. List is the skill, consequences is the concept, and globalization is the topic. At the comprehension level, we have students will describe the trends in online education. Describe is our skill, trend is the concept, and online education is the topic. We continue on through the cognitive domains. Students will interpret the primary conflict within the Harry Potter series from multiple points of view. Students will compare motivational factors that led to World War I and World War II. Students will judge the ethics of the 2016 American election. Students will synthesize patterns of behavior amongst preschool children whose parents are authoritative. Here are some common errors and pitfalls while writing our objectives. Upon completion of the assigned readings, the students will learn how to use a graphing calculator. What level is learn? To beef it up, maybe we could say the learner will demonstrate how to use a graphing calculator given specific problems. The student will know the difference between a fragment and a complete sentence. What does that mean? What level is know? How about the learner will construct complete sentences from list of fragments? And last, we have understand, the big no-no. The student will understand the American criminal justice system. Well, what in the criminal justice system must they understand? A way to beef it up could be the learner will group roles within the American criminal justice system. Here are some tips while writing learning objectives. State objectives in terms of what the learner will be able to do. Review your learning objectives and see if consolidation is needed or if there's anything overlapping. Objectives usually appear in a bulleted list preceded by a stem sentence that communicates the endpoint by which the objectives will be achieved. Upon completion of the module, the student will analyze or identify. Have a Bloom's taxonomy verbs list handy as you work on your objectives. After writing your objectives, ask yourself, does it clearly state what the student will do? Can I observe the behavior? And can I measure the behavior? Thank you for joining us for another micro lecture by the Center of Online Learning and Teaching Technology.